Cody, we good? All set? All right, calling this meeting to order. I'm going to call attendance. Tony Raposo, he's currently not here. Lisa Castelli,
Yeah.
James Blank, I'm here. Hillary Lima, she's not here. Michael Sakosha. Here. And that is the call. Review of emergency evacuation plan. Please exit the back doors and take a left of the entrance. Approval of minutes, February 9th of 2022. Everybody received the minutes. Were there any changes? No?
No.
If I could have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Great. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Section 5, sewer tie-in applications. 5A, sewer application is Huntley Building, AP 38, lots 67 and 68. Is anybody here for that?
Pat Walker, Walker Engineering. This project is a commercial building. The two lots referenced are actually going to be merged administratively. It will be served by a private well because the water line that is out in Arizona is only a 2-inch and they won't allow anyone to tie into it. So the well will have a Kent County water meter, an approved Kent County water meter, and the owner will have to report the water usage for the sewer billing. There are 3 units, 2 single units and a double unit. D. Gorman Landscaping is going to occupy the larger of the 2, and the other 2 units are currently vacant. It's going to be the tradesman type, commercial condo type buildings. Each unit has its own lateral connecting with a backwater valve and a clean out to a manhole down to the road. Mr. Hageman and Mr. Rose have both reviewed it. They are fine with it.
Bruce, could you just confirm you're good?
Yes.
You're good? Okay. Any members have any questions on this tie-in?
Where is it located? Off Tiogas?
Off of Arizona,
Arizona.
You know the dealership
where
is on Tio?
the Ionati's,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Ionati's car dealership.
it's
It's right
behind
back
there.
there.
And then it turns into residential zones.
If I could have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. 5B, sewer application, Murray LLC, Black Rock Apartments. Is anybody here?
Good evening, Sam Swarsa from Coventry Survey Company, 46 South Main Street, Coventry. Existing conditions, this is a vacant parcel, partially wooded, Assessors Plat 63, Lot 49. It's like 1.39 acres. It's the former site of a septic system for the apartment complex across the street on the south side of Murray Street. And they were, the leach fields were abandoned a while ago, and the apartment complex across the street is now connected to public sewer. And that sewer ends at the intersection of Boston Street and Murray Street. So the proposal is for 17 condo units on this vacant parcel, and through a comprehensive permit. This is very preliminary. It's basically just a checklist item on the pre-app submission. So it's to get some kind of a letter from the sewer committee about the project. So each unit is going to have roughly 3 bedrooms. We're proposing about 5,865 gallons per day leaving the site. There's existing public water that runs all the way around the parcel. And we're proposing to just extend that gravity from Boston Street. It's running uphill to the site.
Great, thank you. Mr. Marchand, do we have a proposed assessment for this?
Not yet,
Not
but the assessment calculation is anything from 0 to 6,000 gallons per day as a multiplier by $80 per gallons per day.
In 80
So,
cents, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Great, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
5C, sewer application 9193 Sandy Bottom Road.
Pat Walker, Walker Engineering. This is for, to replace the existing septic system for the Harrington Building at 9193 Sandy Bottom Road. The connection will come out the back of the building because the rear half has crawl space area where they can easily modify the plumbing. So each unit would come out by themselves, will come around the side and connect to the stub that's there. There's a dog grooming business in one piece, and there are two dog washing tubs. Both of those will be fitted with fur interceptors inside. And I don't know if you did look at the plan. One of the bathrooms really only has a toilet. There's nothing else in the bathroom. I had to double check because it was odd. The F&H automotive machine, it's just Mr. Harrington that works there. There's just a bathroom. He does have a self-contained safety sink where any parts are washed and it's contained. And then the tank that it connects to is just taken away. It doesn't go into the sewer at all.
Okay, great. Bruce, do you have any issues with this? No. Okay, thank you. Do any of the members have any questions or comments? If not, I will accept a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Who-
I'll make the motion.
Make the
to
motion.
accept.
Oh, so the second motion.
Perfect.
Oh,
Everybody in favor,
I'm
say aye.
confused.
Aye.
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 We could get them on for June 27th.
So we have to. That's great. Thank you.
I don't think it's 100% necessary.
All right.
But thank you.
I know it's been done in the past. so I was asking.
Yep. All right, section 6, new business. 6A is sewer fund financial update FY 2021 audit, FY 22 year to date, and FY 2023 budget. Mr. Marchand, I believe you're speaking on this.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to give a presentation and update to the sewer subcommittee on the state of the sewers finances, and that hasn't been done in quite some time. One of the primary concerns from a financial reporting perspective is that we are meeting our bond compliance obligations to have at least 125% of revenues over expenditures. And that hasn't been a problem in fiscal year 2020 or 2021 due to the amount of development we've seen and the substantial income from assessment revenue. But that's always a concern because the rates alone would not get us to that 125% ratio. So when it comes to looking at that ratio, that's a concern for justifying rate increases. But as I was going through the files, I did find a 2019 study that you may be familiar with that projected out 10 years and didn't call for any rate increases from the town's side. But I did want to let everyone know that West Warwick has increased their sewer charges for treatment. So you're going to see an increase in the sewer charge on the bill that we're passing on to the ratepayers.
When does that increase go into effect?
September 1 for the next billing year.
What is the increase?
It was $1.41. Well, we went from $3.55. The new fee is $4.25 per 100 cubic feet. In my memo, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th paragraph down, the West Warwick rate increase. So one of the primary concerns I have that was recent, it's being raised in the current fiscal year 2021 audit, is there was some information that the auditor was looking for that they were directed to me to ask the question about the fixed assets and the depreciation, and I have no information on that. Coincidentally, I was talking with a finance director today, and they were going through an old C drive that was downloaded from a former employee, and they happened across the information. So we were very fortunate to find it. But what this speaks to is that we do not have a sewer program being administered by staff in a uniform and consistent manner. And so when I'm looking at the sewer fund budget, we are spending a lot of resources on consultants to do a lot of work on behalf of the town with no oversight. And I am confident that by taking a lot of that work in-house, the sewer fund could benefit from some cost savings there. And I recently hired a gentleman with an engineering degree, but not an engineering certification, to help the town because we were unable to find anyone else to hire. And he's been working with Bruce, and it's a steep learning curve because he's literally changing careers from being a pilot and a air flight training officer to engineering for the municipality. But in the last 2 weeks, I was also able to find an engineer to hire who will begin on June 13th. And my decision is I'd like to keep both gentlemen employed because I know the town has the needs and we don't have enough staffing resources, but I don't have enough to fund both of them in the general fund budget. So I'm looking for support to hire the engineer in training in the sewer fund, and we'll be using those resources with the PE to try to take on and develop more of a sewer program with our in-house engineer.
Are we using the COVID money to support some of that?
Not per se. Mainly, we want to use the COVID money for one-time expenses, capital, and keep it really clean due to the federal reporting requirements.
Yeah.
And we don't want to start funding operational year-to-year expenses with one-time money.
I mean,
but if we had to, we could.
We were just talking about Arizona Street before, and I guess that particular lot did not have doesn't look like it's been assessed for the $16,000 fee that's supposed to have been assessed 10 years ago. So, I mean, I'm sure that there's more of those out there. So just that in itself would help pay for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's, in my mind, I think that's something we're really missing now. We're missing somebody to really kind of oversee a little bit more of the day-to-day operations.
Because I feel like there's too many people
Too
kind
many hands.
of, right, exactly.
My recommendation would be to hire 2 people exclusively for the sewer program. One would be an engineer with hopefully experience in basically in any utility, but more specifically in wastewater collections. And if they have wastewater treatment as well, that would be great. And then an office manager, someone that can prepare the agendas and do the paperwork and the accounts and billing and start consolidating all this that we have spread out into so many other departments right now.
And
My only concern right now is that since the budget just failed on the town side, and I do note that the general fund is still subsidizing some of the sewer funds costs.
Yes.
I don't think that we should make that decision right now. I think we should kind of hold off to see what happens on the town side first. I understand that you're using sewer fund to pay these salaries, but there's also benefits that go along with these salaries. There's employer taxes
It'd be
that go along with these taxes.
the
So
full cost of an employee, absolutely.
exactly. So
From the, if I can speak to the town budget in the general fund, as far as the failed referendum is concerned,
Mhm.
I'm not concerned. The town's budget is untouched by level funding, because 100% of the tax increases proposed in the budget that was voted on was allocated to the schools. So the town's budget, as presented, is fully funded at level funding. And it was really the schools that are losing out on the tax increase to fund their operations. So
town council still has to make a decision on
yes,
what, if anything, they're going to fund to the schools though.
and that'll be discussed on Monday.
Exactly. So I would like to see that. And I'd also like to see a true financial picture of our sewer fund right now. Because right now, I don't know who here has any insight into the actual total P&L of our sewer fund, what it looks like for last year, what it looks like for year to date. So I think that would be necessary before we make such a large financial decision.
Sure. So at this time, I have, I'll have two people serving in this engineering capacity through the end of this fiscal year, using current year revenues and current year budget rather. But coming into July 1, I'm gonna have to make some decisions, either how we're gonna fund it or letting the one gentleman go.
Got it. Understood. Anybody else have any comments?
So just one of them is going to be paid through the sewer?
Yeah.
Fund? Okay, that's underfunded right now. So is that going to put more of a burden? The sewer fund, isn't it?
It's actually not underfunded right now, because the assessments have come in strong. We're at 285% funding ratio. It's only if we don't have development and don't have assessments coming in that we would be deficient.
Oh, okay. Because according to this, the memo that you sent, it looked like we were still underfunded. Okay.
It's just a risk that we're not currently experiencing or suffering.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you'll find that whoever you have assigned to that is not going through stuff street by street, lot by lot. You're gonna find a lot of money.
Which is exactly what we need. And I think these positions would pay for themselves multiple times over, once for the reduction in the billing that we have from consultants, and twice for actually getting more connections assessments and ultimately adding.
What do we do about
Connections.
raising the usage to at least mirror at this point what Wastewater is raising? So that we're not going backwards.
Well, we have an existing resolution that makes any increases West Warwick does automatically pass through to our billing. So we don't have to take any action.
Will that take effect as of September also?
Yes, yes.
To Mike's point, though, there's for a usage bill, there's a West Warwick component, and then there's a Coventry component.
Mhm.
So you brought up that West Warwick is raising their rates. I don't know if Mike was asking this, but on the Coventry side, are you raising the Coventry rate as well?
No.
And I think that's what you were asking, Mike.
That's what I'm asking. So
Okay.
what I'm asking is, does our usage mirror the increase when West Warwick increases their usage fee? Or does
No.
that put us in the negative? You're saying it was $3.57 per gallon, correct?
355, and they raised it to 425. But this is West Warwick raising it, and they broke it down into 3 sections to pay for their phosphorus treatment, UV treatment, something else treatment. And so this is how they are covering their direct costs. And since our ratepayers are paying into that cost, that's a pass through. The Coventry isn't experiencing any increases in administrative costs as far as collections are concerned, or pump stations.
I guess what I'm saying is our wastewater goes there. We pay them a certain amount of money for usage, correct? Or What do we pay as a whole?
We actually transfer
Whole facility.
that. So the rates that our ratepayers pay,
Yep.
we transfer the amount that is attributed to West Warwick.
Okay.
So we're direct paying the consumption on a per account basis.
Okay.
We don't have a contract where the town is negotiated to pay a lump sum on behalf of its users because we're paying
Well,
actual.
in other words, what, we're responsible for what, 20%, 25%?
It's 22.34.
The whole plant,
Yeah.
the whole plant,
We have 22.34% of their total capacity
right? Which we're responsible for.
Sure.
because of the IM.
And capacity is different than consumption.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
But if they ever do an upgrade, we're on the hook for
22.34%.
Exactly. And I've been bringing that up for a couple of years now. I don't know when their next big upgrade is going to be. And hopefully maybe we can get some legal counsel guidance on if we can use ARPA funds for that, because that is a wastewater upgrade. And based off of what I had
And this makes a beautiful segue.
right into the wastewater facilities plan.
Yes.
So I think we're good
if we're
with
there
6A if everybody's good with 6A.
I also, oh yeah, and adoption of a sewer fund budget for next year, which I just took the rate increases that we're seeing from year to year and just upped it a little bit.
Okay.
But I do intend to get a full P&L kind of full financial report. These were pretty much just off the budget reports from the system, but we'll get more sophisticated in future meetings.
Yeah, if we could see actuals before we add additional large
Yeah.
expenses, I would appreciate
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the FY22 is year to date
Mhm.
actuals on the expenses. So
Thank you.
we'll do that.
6B, wastewater facilities plan.
So I just wanted to make an update that the town council did select Fuss and O'Neill to be the consultant that will perform the wastewater facilities plan study. And that will be on the council agenda for next Monday night to approve their proposed contract and cost. I was supposed to get that today, so I can put it in the agenda packet. I didn't, so I'll have to follow up with them in the morning. But this wastewater facilities plan would also contemplate doing a study of the capacity usage of the West Warwick wastewater treatment plant. Because I asked the question just off the cuff, well, what if West Warwick or another municipality that's party to that operation is using more than their allotment? Is there a way to define that? And if they're encroaching on our 22%, could we sell them our capacity, or is there a basis for requiring that? So there are some questions, because if they're going to be increasing capacity in any way, then why pay to expand the plant when we can just sell a percentage of our owned capacity?
I do know that the IMA does state that we're allowed to sell at least, I think, 10% per year to other communities if they're so willing to purchase.
Yeah.
So I do know that.
Okay. But to do a study of what is actually being
Right.
consumed
Oh, no.
would be very helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you had said the Fuss and O'Neill is doing the wastewater facilities plan, but aren't they also doing the maintenance in town too?
No, that's Weston and Sampson.
Oh, that's staying with Weston and Sampson?
Well, that wasn't part of the RFP or proposed to change.
Got it.
So they are the existing contractor consultant, and we haven't done anything to change that at this point.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Anybody else have any questions on 6B?
Only other thing I had a question, I guess, in regards is, so we talked about maintenance a little bit.
Mhm.
Who's taking care of the maintenance now? DPW?
No, Weston and Sampson or their subcontractors.
So as an example, there's a manhole over here on 117. I'm sure we all drive on it every day. Over there with Industrial Drive. Who's
Oh.
responsible to raise that cover?
We do that in-house. Yeah. Public Works does get manhole collars and they re-level them. They maintain the manholes. It's been very hard to get parts in a timely manner. The supply chain issues have affected them as well.
You sent my crew out there? Give me a list of them. I'll send you a bill.
In any event, 6C, sewer ordinance, proposed amendments, review.
All right, so I I sent a document of the sewer ordinance with changes. Most of these changes were reviewed and proposed by Jamie LeBlanc, and I went through and just made a couple of suggested changes. I have not made a list to go point by point through all the changes. So I really leave it with you to review. You can see all the markups and leave it to your discussion to see if how you want to approach approving those, if you want to discuss those and make a recommendation ultimately to the town council to approve any changes. The biggest changes is any reference to public works director was changed to town engineer. There is a section towards the end when it comes to appeals where I made it that there would be a tiered set of appeals. It would be first decided by the town engineer, appealed to the sewer appeal board, and then that board would ultimately be appealable to the town council.
And I think other than that, the most significant change was the assessment to residential homeowners.
So we reduced the assessment. The proposal is to reduce the assessment to a flat 15,000 per homeowner. And this gets the ordinance to a place where we can reconsider moving forward with sewer projects because we have some cost certainty for
Homeowners.
potential homeowners and potential sewer connections. But the expectation is that this would be subject to the wastewater facilities plan study validating what the true cost of connection and the optimal design ought to be. So this would be an immediate patch fix update subject to a more comprehensive evaluation of the program.
And I think in the past, we've talked about the fact that new sewer projects probably aren't going to start for at least 1.5 to 2 years is what we have said. So this is kind of just us showing the public that we're trying to work on the ordinance. We know that it needs to be updated. This is like draft or version 1 of ordinance updates, essentially. And then the town actually would have skin in the game. Anything over that cost of 15,000 per however many homes are on that street, any change orders or anything like that, the town would actually have to chip in on any overage costs effectively, since if the 15,000 per home didn't cover the total cost.
I don't know that the town's in a healthy enough situation to push it forward, but maybe the sewer fund would be. But yeah,
Or sewer fund,
there are some dynamics there that I wouldn't want to put the town or the sewer fund in a position to be held hostage to a developer pushing through, what would otherwise be $30,000 assessments and doing it for 15 and forcing the town to spend the money for the difference versus a proposed project that we have ARPA money for that the town's happy to pay the difference to get more connections. So it would depend on the project.
Who do you think that's going to leave us? People that are already spent, like Arizona Rally, the assessment there was 16,500.
That exact kind of circumstance is kind of what I was talking to like back in 17, where the first homes that connected to the sewer only had to pay 3,500, but Hazard Street residents were being forced to pay 30,000 plus. Like why would that be fair?
Well, I thought
It's kind of going the same way.
I know you're familiar with where you live, so I thought that the premise of doing Hazard Street was that it was ledge.
It was.
And we did the other side of our road, which was sand, which will help balance your numbers down.
That's what former councilman LeBossinier was told.
Yeah.
But that is not how the billings went. That's why On a Road had a separate billing than Hazard Street.
Yeah.
They didn't do exactly what you're saying. But that would have made sense. But I'm just
But I
saying
know,
the
like,
price
to give you
difference.
an example, I know like on Washington Street,
Mhm.
past Hazard Street. Actually, so, and I know that some of those are like 16,500 or 12,500, depending on when the sewer line actually went by there. So I mean, each neighborhood's a little different. I'm just, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, once you put this into law, if you set a number of 15,000, you're gonna have some happy people, you're gonna have some angry people. So
Well, you're welcome to propose a higher rate of 16.2 or 17.5 or whatever you think is appropriate. But the reality is you can't hold yourself hostage to the past and what's done one way for good or bad. We have to draw a line in the sand and move forward.
you're gonna have
And
15,000. So
And we're under a deadline right now. Without this revision to the ordinance, I don't think there's support on the council to touch sewers, in which case we're going to run out of time to spend the ARPA funds and we're going to miss the entire opportunity to get 200 more connections, which would stabilize the revenue cost ratio to the bonds entirely. That was my analysis, is that we need 200 more connections and then we're on track for being sustainable. Obviously, the more connections we have, the more healthy the fund will grow to be, the more we improve the environment, protect the watershed and all that sort of thing. But if this ordinance is what's preventing the council from even applying for grants or spending ARPA funds on sewers, then we're never going to get out the door.
And I believe these ordinance changes are a good first step, at least. But to Mike's point, I do think maybe we add an inflation or COLA adjustment or something along those lines to the 15,000 per year going forward. Because we all do know that costs go up. So unfortunately. I guess next steps, Ben, what are your thoughts on the sewer ordinance? Maybe add it to our next agenda, and we can go maybe section by section and see whether or not members agree or want to make amendments.
In the interest of expediting it, I would ask for the members of the commission to send any suggested changes to me.
Okay.
I will share them back out to the commission so that
Sure.
everyone can see where everyone's at.
Okay.
And hopefully by the next meeting, everyone would be prepared to make a recommendation to pass on to the town council for consideration.
Perfect. Okay. That work for everybody? Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Section 7, public and/or subcommittee member comment. Cody, do we have anybody watching? If that person on Zoom wants to speak, could they raise their hand? Does not. Going once, going twice, going 3. Okay. All right. Subcommittee member comment? Any comments?
No.
No. All right. We'll take a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. And we adjourn at 7:03 PM. Thank you.